Alright guys, thank you for coming back for another video. We're going to make this a real quick one today. Basically, I just wanted to show you guys a new mount that I got for my GoPro. If you guys run GoPros, you run in cars, you probably try the GoPro suction cup mount for your car. Me personally, I tried it for a little bit. I don't like it all that much. You only get a certain amount of movement. You're only getting single clicks like this and like this. You can't so much get like this and all the different ranges of motion. So if you guys saw from my in-car footage, when I went to the track, I really had a tough time getting the angle that I wanted for the in-car footage. I got it good enough, but the camera was a little bit tilted and I just wasn't happy with it. Any other time that I use that mount, it just pisses me off because I have like a bag full of attachments and I'm sitting there dicking around, fiddling around trying to figure out what attachment I want to use, and when I move it to different parts of the car I got to go back through the bag again, and then I'm just spending more time fucking around with mounts than what I am actually getting footage. So somebody suggested on one of the pages that I go on, they have a mount from Ram Mounts, so I decided to sell off my GoPro mount and go with this Ram mount. So I have not looked at this in person too much yet. We're going to open this up now. One of my buddies got it from somebody and he said it works out pretty good for him, so figured I'd test it out. Supposedly these things are supposed to be a lot more sturdy than the GoPro mounts as well. So when you open these up, they're very basic. It just comes in a very basic bag like this. And then saying Ram on the part number. If you guys want to pick this up, they could be had on Amazon or eBay. 35 bucks-ish shipped. Part number for this one is RAM, RAM-B-166-A-GOP1U. And if you guys can make out that number there. Basically, this is a fully articulating mount. It is a ball mount. I'll show you that in a minute. So suction cup is going to be a little bit different than a GoPro. Instead of having that lever that you have to push down on the button and then snap the lever, this one has more of a twist lock on top. So you'll snap this thing in like this and then twist it like that, and you probably just saw the camera move. This thing is stuck like a son of a bitch to my table. Just unsnap it like that, pull up the tab, and it comes off. So the surface area on this thing is much greater than the GoPro. The GoPro was more concaved. It did hold. I mean, I was trapping like 120 miles an hour. It isn't really that fast to most people, but I was trapping like 120 miles an hour. It was staying on the car fine, but this already, just from feeling it on the table, this seems like it is a much easier way to get suction on the car instead of holding the button down and then trying to leverage that extra action in. So this already seems like it's a lot nicer. So what they give you here is, I'll give you a couple screws for the mount, a couple more screws, I'm not sure what all those are for yet. And okay, so here is the articulation of the mount. So you're going to see a ball on the bottom part. So instead of just getting forward and backwards like the GoPro was, so you would just do like that and like that, this goes side to side. You can rotate it all different angles that you want, and then you just lock it in via this and it holds it tight. So two of these screws, I'm assuming these two are to go to the base down here, and then once it's attached on, this is going to be to hold the actual GoPro mount on. So we'll go to a POV view, we'll get this put together, and I'll show you guys a little bit. All right, hopefully you guys can see this okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get this mounted on. As I said before, you have your 2 bolt holes here and 2 matching holes on the mount there. So we're gonna get your 2 threaded screws and just line them up with the holes. And hopefully they're threaded good. And we're going to loosen this up so we can get some articulation. Actually, I forgot that we can just spin this around, duh. So we'll spin that around so that knob doesn't get in the way. Alright, so we'll just get the screws started on each side. And without too much force, these should just screw in. The base itself feels like a pretty hard injection molded plastic. So just keep that in mind when you're cranking down. You don't want to overdo this thing because you probably will crack it. I don't want to test how much force it takes to crack it because I'm going to the track tonight and I sold my other mount, so I kind of needed this today. And this side doesn't feel like it's cranking down quite as good as the other side. Alright, we're going to shut the video off. I'm going to take a look at this and see why this isn't cranking down as tight as I thought it would. Alright, I took the top piece back off and you'll see that these threads, looks like they pulled out the threads a little bit. So I'm going to try and get this a little bit more flush. I wonder if maybe that was keeping it from fully seating. So we're going to shave that a tiny bit. Alright, so it feels like it's flush. I can't see if it looks like the threads are in there or not. Doesn't look like it has a ton of plastic in there for it to thread into, but let's try this again. Try this other screw this time. Alright, so that one seems to be threading in there nice and smooth. That's not grabbing though. Yeah, that doesn't seem to want to grab. I'm going to see if I can get some Loctite or something to get that to hold in there. So far, this isn't going too good. Alright, so I just called the company that I purchased this from. Synergy Mounts are out in like Philly area. I just talked to the guy and let him know it looks like this one hole was drilled a little bit bigger than this hole. So this hole tightens up fine. This one is a little bit loose on the unit. So I definitely do not trust putting that on the outside of the car. I may run it on the inside of the car tonight because if it falls off, who gives a shit if it's in the inside of the car. But I absolutely do not trust doing that on the outside. So he's going to check and see if he's got another one in stock that he could send right out to me, but that doesn't help me for tonight. So I'm going to see if maybe I can re-tap that or possibly get a bigger screw just so I have something temporarily. Alright, so I just talked to Jeff at Synergy Mounting Systems. Super great guy to deal with. Totally understanding. He said he was going to follow up with RAM and let them know what was going on, but he has an extra piece, extra base like this brand new for me, and he's going to give me this ball mount and this bottom piece brand new as well, so I have an extra. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set these screws in. I'm going to put a little bit of super glue in there and get these to hold, and then when that new one comes, I'm just going to pop off this section here up and throw it on the new one, and hopefully the next one works as well. That way I don't have to dick around with trying to separate this once it's glued in. So the plan is to try and glue this. We'll see how well this works. I don't have any epoxy or anything, so super glue is probably going to be about the best I can get this. Hopefully this shit's not all dried up. My son was just using this the other day. Alright, so I was able to drive a screw in there a little bit just to get some threads in there. And I popped a little bit of hole in the super glue. So we're going to see if we can half-ass make this mount. And see what this does. It does feel like it's getting a little bit tighter. Oh, that's because that was the tight one. Put a little bit more dabs in there just for good measure. get a paper towel to clean this up so we don't make too much of a mess. Because we all know how much fun super glue can be when it dries your fingers. And my luck is shit will dry to my fingers. Alright, so I think what we're going to do, put a dab in there, dab in there. Hopefully it'll seal okay. I'm going overboard with this one because I don't really give a shit if I ruin it or not, since I got another one in, or another one coming in. But if this thing holds enough to get me through the night, that would be ideal. So we're going to let this one dry for a little bit and we'll be back and test it out. Guys, so we're going to do a follow-up of this RAM mount. This is a couple days later. I was able to use the RAM mount inside the Mustang. It did hold good. It held very good. I did it to the passenger side window. And as you can see, this is how I was able to adjust it. Stuck it on like this, had the camera angled a little bit, and it held really good. So having this extra ball joint there did help significantly. I just got the replacement bottom piece in the mail yesterday. The gentleman from Synergy Mounts, I forget what his name was, I said it earlier in the video. He was very good and very quick about getting me a replacement piece. So you can see he got me that bottom piece, the Ram-B 224-1U, which is the whole bottom suction cup unit with new hardware and a new ball piece unit. Finish on this one's a little bit chipped up. The rubber is a little unfinished compared to the other one, but whatever, as long as it holds. Looks like the mold is a little bit off on this one. Might just be some grease in there for the mechanism. So let's see how this one bolts together, or screws together, compared to the other one. Alright, so hopefully this one is not stripped out like the last one was. This one seems to be going in good. This one appears to be going in good. Let's lock that one in. It's giving good tension, so this one should be good. Alright, this one appears to be good. So we're going to use this one as the primary, and this glued one, honestly, I probably even feel safer about using this one. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use yet. Because this one's glued, maybe this one is actually better to use. But again, you can see there's so much more versatility in this thing. I would show you guys a video of the camera mounted, but I don't have my secondary camera anymore and I'm recording with that camera, so it would not make any sense for me to videotape that. But you guys can see these side by side. Overall, pretty good unit. Again, the first one was a little bit fucked up with the threads. It's just going right into plastic, so I guess these things could happen. The gentleman that I spoke with at Synergy Mounting Systems did say that there is a lifetime guarantee, I think he said there was, from RAM. So it's pretty much a no questions asked. Contact them, you know, maybe at this number here, 800-497-7479. And they should take care of it. But otherwise, I would not hesitate to do business with Synergy Mounting Systems. Again, they're in the Philadelphia area. I found them on eBay. Guy was very nice, very empathetic. Again, took care of it, sent me out another one same day. Within 5 minutes of us being on the phone, he got me a tracking number and got this out to me, you know, next business day. So I can't say enough about them. This mount, like I said, initial review is it worked really good. We'll get it on the outside of the car a little bit later in a follow-up video and see how it holds on for a little bit over 100 mile an hour pulls. So stay tuned for that. If you guys have any questions about this setup, give me just message me and let me know if you have any questions about it. This top mount for the GoPro is just a standard GoPro-ish type mount, and it just has an open nut at the end. And I just used one of my GoPro thumb screws at the end, and it did hold. Did not have any issues. I know some people bitched that this did not hold properly or that the nut would fall out. I have not had that problem yet. Alright, you can see the nut holds in there, it's not coming out, so that is pretty tight. So if you guys have any questions, any further reviews, or any feedback on this, let me know. But so far, I think this thing is a keeper compared to the GoPro mount. So hope you guys enjoyed. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and check out my other videos. Thank you.